Absolutely incredible family dynamics.
Yeah,
I would
it's.
say, oh, go ahead.
I was going to say it's, you know what, especially early on in your racing career, it does require a lot of family support. It's until you kind of get established and you have the ability to either self-fund or get paid or, find someone that's willing to pay for you to do what you love to do.
I love the acronym you came up with, Papa Has Dough,
Yeah, pretty much true, isn't it?
PHD. It is true. Like you find that in NASCAR a lot nowadays.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
So, what was racing in Europe like?
It was really different to what I was used to. I started off with, I raced some 16 Formula 1600 cars over there. And it was all real friendly in practice, and my first race there was really, everyone was really nice, and then we got to qualifying, and oh my God, it was like a different way of racing. Here in North America, we tend to race kind of to obtain positions. You race to pass somebody, and there when I was racing, you race defending your position, so you're trying to hold cars behind you, and although you're not really supposed to block. I mean, blocking was a big part of racing. So that was a real eye opener for me. Was that transition from being a driver that was attacking to gain a position to being a driver that also had to hold cars back from gaining position. So that was certainly challenging, and it really made me change my driving style quite a bit. Where here you have the ability to turn in a little bit later into corners and leave a little bit more room on the inside so you get the absolute perfect ideal line. There you had to enter a little bit earlier, a little shallower, and gather the car up more in the middle of the corner and drive out. So it was a bit of a different driving style, which I've kind of adopted and still use, I guess, to this day.
What was your first win?
My first win was in a Formula V. It was actually a race I did in the rain, and it was one of those races where I don't know if you followed Formula V racing or watched it, but they tend to be really really close races. They're totally underpowered cars, and typically you get 8 or 10 cars that'll qualify within a tenth of a second of each other. And so we go into this rain race, and I just drove away from the field. I lapped everybody except second place, and it wasn't that I don't know. It all kind of went well, and people started saying to me, "Man, are you ever good in the rain? Are you doing a rain dance for the next race?" And so I really started believing that I was good in the rain. So rain became kind of my deal. I don't know how I did it the first time around. It was just one of those things, it just sort of happened.
You got to remember that in 1975, Bobby Unser was able to win Indianapolis despite incredibly low visibility in the rain, and that was probably the lowest visibility I've ever seen in a race, was that particular one.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? And part of it is the visibility. The other is just the grip levels. Getting lucky, hunting for grip. A lot of it has to do with your car setup, tire pressures, and I was pretty young when I got started, and really didn't know anything about setup. So I just figured you put gas in it and make sure the car keeps running. And maybe I got lucky that my setup was more of a rain setup than the other guys had. So I attribute it more to luck than I do skill at that point.